Hey there everyone, this is Jeffrey with Killaskila Gaming, and welcome back to Subnautica. Previously, we did a lot of base building. We made our way back to the surface, did some touch-ups on the base there. I collected my pet reaper that I may have discussed in the past, I don't remember. And we came back down here where we essentially started building onto our base in the Lost River. And we also made some ion batteries and ion power cells. And so I want to continue working on the base, but we are pretty much dry on resources in this area, and so we kind of need to spread out. And I was thinking today what we can do is make our way into the active lava zone and search for the final alien base. So let's dive back in. Alright, so we are in our base. I think we're next to our water system here. Our water system, our water room. Okay. I guess we'll figure things out on the road as we go. So I don't know exactly where our destination is.
Powering up.
So we'll kind of figure it out when we get there. I'm really liking the new base location, and I think the new extensions and whatnot are really looking cool. Not really paying off as far as doing anything with it, but that's not really the point, right? It's just meant to be fun. Can't play a Survivor game where you can build stuff and not build stuff. Which, a reminder to me that I should get back to Fallout 4 at some point. I haven't played since I switched up formats. So I'm thinking we want to head down towards where the castle is. The castle, the lava, the inactive lava zone's inactive volcano. Well, I don't know if I'd call it inactive, but I call it castle because it's kind of like a fortress at the center. I think I've heard it called that by other people too, so. There was kind of a spot in that area around the fortress that went pretty deep, I think. I was trying to avoid it in the prawn suit because I didn't want to get stuck. Okay, and I think there's also that inactive lava zone might give us an access point. We still haven't really used it, so that tells me that we can access it somehow over there at least. Because I know that it brought us to a lava zone. But maybe that might actually go directly in to the active lava zone, because we've never really gone down that far. So what I'm going to do this time is we're going to drop. We want to get low. Low as we... Oh, not that low. Not yet, at least. We want to get as low as we can. If that gets us there, then... more power to us. I'm assuming we're going to go down. Yeah, like this right here. This goes down pretty far, it looks like. I don't know how far. So let's go check it out. Is that a cave we can enter? I don't know. So this is pretty deep, but I'm not seeing any access tunnels. Ooh. Hello there.
I am what you seek. Want to help you.
Interesting. Could you help me maybe find where you are? Okay. Now there was a tunnel here. This right here. This looks a bit tight for the Cyclops. Let's take it slow and check it out. We could probably pull this off. We got this. Oh yeah, this has to be it, right? Okay, so our primary objective is to find the alien facility. But my secondary objective is to find resources. Holy shit. This is huge. That's what she said. Sorry. Is that a... There's definitely structures down there. Yeah, I would say we found it. So that was all we had to do, is go into that big hole. Now that's what he said. Up high. No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry. Don't listen to me. I can actually see pretty well down here. Oh yeah, there's a fortress there. I was right. So what's over here? No, fortress first. We can check out the rest of the cavern later. Sorry. Okay. I hear dragons, I haven't seen any. Maybe a little cramped where I'm at. What is this? Is it just not loading in? Okay, yeah, it's just needs to render. Alright, let's find a spot here where we can kind of park. See what's over here. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna turn around. Looks kind of like a dead end over here. So no dragon? I thought for sure there'd be a dragon here. I don't think the dragon's gonna come after our Cyclops. So I'm ready to get close to one of these.
Engine powering down.
Just want to check, make sure the percentage goes up. Of course, that might take a while because it's a lot of energy. I wonder if they had units in mind with the energy. Yeah, we went to 94, okay. I would think they would do it in joules, kilojoules or something like that. Kilojoules, definitely, right? Okay. So let's... Well, we have, oh, sorry, wrong one. Tablets, right? Let's take the tablets. Let's put the grappling arm on for now. Yeah, we should definitely search the cavern at some point. Secondary objective is resources, so... No, word of warning. This place has been notorious for getting the prawn suit stuck. So hopefully it's been fixed with the latest patch, but the grapple arm is a lifesaver. If you get stuck, use it. And we are at 1400, so this has got to be it. Yes, and crouch, please. Oh, blue. Good. There's plenty of kyanite here, so we can easily make blue. So cool.
Translating local alien broadcast. Warning, vaccine development program terminated. Emperor egg hatching project terminated. Live specimens terminated. Evacuate immediately.
Apparently not all terminated because something's calling me here. So this thing... This is basically an ion deposit, ion cube deposit. This one's a little different than the one we found previously, though. So we'll demonstrate here. So that's the whole thing, didn't take much. Okay, so that probably took around 2 minutes, I want to say. And if you're, depending on how much of that I actually show, you see that the deposit basically rebuilt itself. Or whatever made the deposit rebuilt itself. So I don't really know what these are. I mean, generally batteries and anything that operates like a battery is, you know, if it's like a lithium-ion battery, for instance, it's just running off of electrical charge. So it's an ion battery by default. so we have a spot up here. There's a locked area down there. We're gonna need to get water and food, so I don't want to get too far here, but enzyme 42 project data.
PDA data.
So we're gonna read as we do this, but let's kind of clear the rooms as we go. Yep, stay crouched, please. Thank you. If it fits, it sits. I pronounce it, I mean. Ooh. Preserved fetus. Okay. Sea emperor fetus. And that, looks like the face we've been seeing. That might be all that's in here, I'm not sure. Nope. Preserved egg casing. Okay. Alright. Indigenous life forms. This must be something we found. Oh, cuttlefish. Okay. Yeah, let's read this while we're here. Cuttlefish. A small gray-colored herbivore, the cuttlefish displays high levels of intelligence, curiosity, and attachment. Unfortunately, he's probably dealing with my reaper and my other little treats up top. I apologize to my wildlife. Or I guess this isn't technically wildlife. Strangely, the species has not been encountered in the wild. Yeah, exactly. In the wild, and the scanned specimen had to be artificially hatched within an alien containment unit. Number 1, life cycle. In the absence of wild specimens, little can be known for certain about the cuttlefish's life cycle. It is possible that environmental conditions have changed, forcing the species to the edge of extinction and leaving its eggs in permanent stasis. It is also possible the cuttlefish has been genetically altered or even imported to 4546b from another world. 2, behavior. We do know that the cuttlefish is a herbivore which displays highly social behavior in its interspecies interactions, as was observed in earth dolphins before their extinction. This creature seems to understand the concept of other minds, the prime indicator of true sentience, and attempts to communicate with a series of chirps and chirrups. That's really sad. You know, if I had to put my money on it, I would say that the dolphins would eventually take over the planet, or birds. You know, that's what I put my money on. As far as like intelligence wise. So 3, interaction. Evidence suggests the cuttlefish is capable of understanding and following simple commands, in addition to assessing the emotional state of individuals around it and responding in kind. Assessment. Emotional connection between living creature is an essential component of psychological health. And that was something that was even brought up by our PDA early on about anthropomorphizing to help keep us sane. Okay, so terminal data. This is the first one we found. Enzyme 42 project data. According to translated data logs, an indigenous Leviathan species was found to produce a unique substance referred to as enzyme 42. And it's interesting that they use the name enzyme because that's implying protein. And like I've said in the past, life on another planet wouldn't be the same as life on Earth, which is why I kind of get into the idea of, you know, why I've been talking about evolution the way it occurs, because hypothetically evolution would have to occur pretty similar to the way it does for us, but genetics might not occur quite the same. That's the part that, you know, when they say enzyme, it's like, well, you're talking proteins here. Do they even function in the same way? And there might be more to that. Like I said, it's possibility that the life on this planet wasn't necessarily from this planet. So more on that later, maybe. Which inhibited the symptoms of the Kara bacterial infection in other indigenous organisms. The specimen was captured and contained in a purpose-built habitat for further study. An additional comment to that too, like they might be using terms based on kind of similarities to stuff that we already know or know of. The alien researchers went to great lengths to provide for the life form's environmental needs, including the import of interdependent flora and fauna via an on-site warp gate. However, its health quickly deteriorated. When quarantine was imposed, all warp gates and force fields were sealed. All attempts to develop the enzyme into a vaccine had been unsuccessful. Okay. Public documents. Oh, this is something I found on the surface, actually. Let's quickly read this. So I found this at a crash site near the shallows. Transgov profile Mongolian independent states. When the hostilities of the expansion ceased, the tactical value of the hard-to-reach colony systems on the edge of the China territories plummeted. And that's what I was wondering, like when they said Mongolian, I assume they literally meant Mongolia. So that makes sense, I guess. Recouping from the war, the central government left them to starve. The system in question declared independence, claiming their infrastructure as their own and their intent to become self-sufficient. So I really wonder in this world what has become of Earth? Like, what's it like? Today, the Mongolian states is seen as a relatively minor power on the outskirts of colonized space, yet it remains one of the fastest expanding transgovs in the galaxy. Mongolian societies inherited their technologies from the Chinese, but incorporated the customs of their multicultural colonist base. Non-synthetic foods remain popular. Religion is a strong component of society, but the Mongolians take a relaxed view of competing faiths,
Seek fluid intake.
believing gods to be universally and equally flawed. I like that idea. Before we go on,
Vital signs stabilizing.
we'll have to make a return trip to the ship. Plus, we can drop off whatever ion cubes we have collected. Okay, so this is based on the room we're in. Sea Emperor egg casing. Shell composition. The shell casing is formed from thick layers of carbon composite, suggesting an extensive gestation period. This Leviathan species may give birth just once per century, perhaps just once in their lifetimes. Shell casing incisions. Precise incisions suggest a laser-based tool was used to cut open the egg casing and forcibly remove the fetus inside prior to full gestation. Analysis. Time pressure to develop a bacterial vaccine may have driven the alien researchers to cut open this egg and remove the fetus for study. It is also possible that removed from its parent and natural habitat, some vital conditions for the infant to hatch naturally was not met. See Emperor fetus. Yeah, this is just on the table next to us. Found preserved in a display case. It was likely a child of the adult specimen contained within the facility. And we know it's still here because it's been communicating with us. So remember at the beginning I was saying, initial thought, and like I know I've played this before, but I'm kind of going on thoughts that I had when I first played it and what you're probably thinking at the time or can elaborate at the time. And it's like, well, my first thought was that it was an alien. We've been finding alien structures. I thought that's what it was. I mean, obviously I know it's not now, but so physiology. Superficial damage to the specimen indicates it was artificially removed from its egg casing. Stunted tissue development suggests the organism expired during the removal process. Tissue samples have been taken from the digestive tract. Analysis. It appears the aliens were attempting to formulate a cure for the bacterium from enzymes produced in this specimen's digestive system. Major pet peeve of mine is when people use bacteria versus bacterium incorrectly. And I appreciate the fact that they're using it correctly here. Without a young, healthy specimen, these efforts were in vain. All right. Or little guy. Or little girl. Doesn't really matter, I guess. It said that all life on this planet reproduces, or the way they worded it, I really wasn't sure what they meant, but I'm assuming it meant that they were all, of one sex or hermaphrodites. They used the term like one sex, I think, but hermaphrodite would make a little bit more sense. Yeah, there are some things here. Let's get this while we can, because it might reload in time. We're just going to get as much of this as possible so we can build up our batteries and power cells. Okay, so we have a bunch of things here. Let's see if we can scan them. Alien object. Crescent artifact. Unusual box. Empty case. Alien technology. Okay, not seen anything immediate. I think these are just other rooms. Let's take this out actually. I can use the light for now if I want to. If I need it, because it's kind of dark in here. I think it's just the filmic settings I have on, but I do note the filmic settings do make things quite a bit darker, and I apologize for that, but I like natural lighting. I think it looks much better. I don't like washed out stuff, so I know it's hard to see in some areas. Alien building block. This rock-like object features organic as well as mechanical parts, and there is some genetic and technological crossover with the design of the self-warping constructs encountered elsewhere. So the warpers, I'm assuming. It appears to have no purpose in its current state and is awaiting some kind of activation sequence. Materials such as this may have been a fundamental building block of the aliens' technology or even the aliens themselves. Nanobots. So scans show some form of advanced nanobot inside this seemingly empty case. Okay. So the case is not empty, it's storing them. These bots are substantially smaller than any developed within the Federation, and it is not possible to ascertain their exact function. It would, however, be unwise to release them. Organic matter particulator. This device contains a highly unstable radioactive isotope likely to destroy all organisms exposed to it, while leaving physical structures intact. Although it would function perfectly well as a weapon, it was more likely used to sterilize spaces for later inhabitation. Without instructions, it would be unwise to interact with it. Yeah, let's not do that. Yeah, sterilization would make sense. If you have a lab setup, which it seems like this is what they were using it for, was research. Tracking implant. This construct is emitting a high bandwidth signal consistent with alien transmissions intercepted elsewhere. DNA on the exterior indicates it was once implanted inside one of the life forms indigenous to 4546b. Its size suggests the subject was a Leviathan-class organism. And I think it'd be pretty strange if life on two different worlds developed the exact same genetic system. To me, that seems odd. You know, I would actually almost argue that could be an argument in terms of faith. I would say, because to me, what are the odds of that happening? They gotta be pretty small. Beyond tracking and broadcasting its location, the implant may have recorded biological data on the subject. However, this data cannot be retrieved. All right. And translation device. This device stores linguistic data from over 1,000 different languages. The core of the device may allow alien text to be read and translated. Analysis of the onboard data reveals a number of ancient Earth languages, and the term CHBC Live, I know that, I've heard that before, appears many times in the device's data. It is important. Its import is unclear. So I do believe that CHBC Live, from what I've heard, is someone, I don't think it was a group, I think it was someone who was translating this game for people in, I want to say, China, so that they could, when the game was in early access, so that they could kind of figure out what was going on with it and stay up with the development of this game. I think that's what it is. I'm not sure. Somebody please let me know in the comments if you know that. I think that's really cool. And I think the reason this was in here is it was kind of a tribute, because I do believe the person has since passed, which is really unfortunate. I think this early access goes back like 8 years or more. The device seems to be configured to translate into the designer's language. It will not work the other way around. Okay. And I think that's everything on this side. Let's get this once again. don't know how much of this I've picked up so far. Okay. Alright, let's scan this stuff and then maybe we'll head back to the base. The Cyclops, not the base. Rudimentary tablet. Circular object. That's interesting. Alien statue. That's cool. It's like a spire. Wait, why is that not? Oh, I must have just been out of range. Alien statue. Strange carving. Looks like a yin yang symbol. Ancient blade. Oh. Looks Egyptian, maybe? I'm not sure. Okay, we'll check out these later. Okay. Alien carving. This carving is hundreds of thousands of years old and made from an unrecognized natural fiber. Grown on an unknown planet, it bears striking resemblance to the old Earth yin-yang symbol. Two competing theories may explain this similarity. One, aliens visited Earth prior to the 4th century BC and influenced the development of ancient Chinese philosophy. Two, the concept of yin and yang is universal, since yin and yang describes the fundamental interdependency of seemingly opposite forces. It may be a necessary existential understanding in some form in all sufficiently developed civilizations. The tapering of the two circles, union into opposed and infinitesimally small points, the finite, is one logical way to represent this understanding and may have been developed independently by species other than humans. Alien statue. This artifact is unpowered, suggesting it served a ceremonial rather than practical purpose. The pyramid resembles vines spiraling upwards towards the warm blue stone mounted above it. It may represent a plant found on the alien's home world, a building of religious import, or even the gravitational pull of their home solar system. Ancient earth blade. An ancient earth blade dating back to the 13th century. Blood samples on the blade matched the DNA of 7 separate heads of state from the period, and this could actually mean that maybe life originated elsewhere and didn't even originate on Earth. That's where I would actually get into the realm of, that'd be kind of interesting if life on Earth didn't originate on Earth. But it could also just mean that they've been to Earth. This evidence supports the theory that the aliens are an ancient space-born civilization engaged in the surreptitious study of less developed species. Holographic projector. This device contains network apparatus and a holographic projection unit. It was likely used as a communications relay, capturing and projecting the image of the user to a remote location. There do not appear to be any other devices in range. And a rudimentary tablet. This device shares many similarities with the tablets used to access the alien facilities, although its structure is rather less complex and may have served a similar purpose, granting security access and storing relevant data, and was thus kept here as a form of legacy support. Interesting. Okay, let's grind one more time. And we're gonna head back to the Cyclops for a short bit. We want to make sure we are fed and watered.
Welcome aboard, Captain. All systems online.
I'm gonna make a few batteries before I head back in. I can get a lot more, so let's do it. Okay. I know this is kind of unnecessary, but I thought I'd make some extra to bring back, and then we'll make... I was gonna fill this up until we had like half of this filled with ion cells, and then I'll do batteries, and then I might make some backup batteries to bring home too. So I figured we have the resources. Let's do it. And I'll drop these for now because we'll be using them. Wait, I did need that food, don't I? Yeah, good enough. Yeah, we got the resources. I say why not do it, and then we'll get rid of the old power cells and whatnot. But let's grind away what we can. So there's a bunch of side rooms here, plus this kind of central room. So I'm thinking let's do the side rooms first. The central one looks like it's locked. I'm assuming it's going to be a blue tableau, but we'll find out when we get to it. And I'll try to clear this out every time we come in here, get as much as we can. Okay, so it looks like it's 3 points on each side. This one's a warp gate. Oh wait, it's in the... Thank you. If you recall, we had one warp gate we activated. It was, we were in the thermal plant and it brought us to the enforcement platform. So if for some reason you don't want to travel around the planet, like you just don't want to take the time, you can go through warp gates if you know how they connect. So let's see what this one brings us. And the prawn suit can go through these. So, what is that? Oh, just one of those lights. Okay. And this is the bulb zone. No, these are not put here by random chance. We grow these. They'll grow, okay. Yeah, those are not put there by random chance. I'm gonna take some samples and then we'll learn more as we go. It'll save us a little bit of time in the long run. Not that I'm trying to, but... Alright, big guy.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Okay, so nothing here for scanning. Let's collect our bounty here. I'm gonna assume that there's warp gates in the corners. I know there's 4 of them. Please sit. Thank you. Alright. Yeah, and these should be fine, so if we're not consuming them, I wouldn't worry about it decomposing. As far as I know, we can still plant them, because I think I did that with the lantern fruits and the other plants we've done in the past that weren't seeds. Okay, you know what? Let's take you with. Hopefully this doesn't ever break you. Nice thing about the prawn suit is our ability to go on dry land and in water. So what's our plant of interest here? Where are we? I think this is the mushroom forest. Do I have any source? I do not. It looks like we're in the mushroom forest, at least. Just dug deep. Cyclops bridge fragment. Yeah, because we're near the dunes, right? I probably shouldn't be coming out this way. I'm gonna get lost. Yeah, I don't know if we can grow these, but I think what we want is this. Indigenous flora contains fungal enzymes. I don't know if we can grow these. They're a little different. But we got samples either way. The main reason I'm collecting them is I don't really use the warp gates all that much. Like, I know they're there and they can be convenient, but I just don't. I'd rather just travel myself. Okay. Yeah, the mushroom samples are pretty small comparatively. Try this one. Yeah, I suspect there are scannables in here. Plus we have a data terminal.
Integrating new PDA data.
Inflow pipe. Outflow pipe. And I'm going to assume these connect to our vents that we keep finding around the planet. Oh, there's stairs that go down. Okay, anything here? Not a data terminal, right? That was just something glowing. Yeah, it's just the lighting. Okay, so it looks like it goes down. This is really cool. I don't know if there's anything scannable here, but we'll find out, I guess. Where are these? Oh, those peepers. Okay, so nothing to scan, just a room to explore. I love that the prawn suit sits down for us. I think that's so cool. It's so big. You know, one thing that is kind of tricky to, I don't know what the word is, to kind of, and I guess come up with your own word for it. The one thing that's really weird about the world building here is that if you ever look at like the wildlife we run across, and I mean like think about like the big ones, like size wise big. Think of like a reaper, for instance. You know, how big is a reaper? You know, think about the size of it. Think about the fact that when it grabs like a sea moth, for instance, it holds the sea moth, you know, pretty much right up to its face, and the sea moth is tiny compared to it. And think about how big we are. We fit in the sea moth. You know, it kind of gives you some concept of how big the world is. It's like, you know, you don't really perceive it that way necessarily. And I think if it was like in VR or something, that'd be a lot easier to do, but, you know, it's not. But it kind of gives you a bit of a scale, and I know I've seen videos where people have like animated things so you can kind of see the scale next to a person, but the prawn suit's huge comparative to like the sea moth, and we still fit inside of it. You can kind of see how tall it is when it's standing next to us. So I guess it's kind of like the scale of the world is just, you know, really interesting if you ask me. I think we have some pink caps. Speckled Rattler. I'll take some. I can take extra. I know I have one of those. Let's see. I think we've been here before. I think this is a cave we went into early on. I think this is close to the either Cragfield or the Grand Reef. Somewhere in that zone. I remember I walked inside and I kind of backed out of it, but because I really didn't have any reason to go into it. Because I thought that's where it was. Maybe I'm wrong. You the plant we want? I think you are. Ah, this one grows in seeds. Okay. Well, I think that's where we are. I'm not sure. Same plant? Looks like it. Where are we comparative to our markers? Blood kelp entrance. Yeah, so we're way in the south area.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
I don't hear anything scary. do it. Okay. We have one more gate and then we'll do that last side room and then we can hit the center area. Okay, over this way. Oh, let's get our grind done. Gotta get a little bit of that bump and grind in there, right? Uh-oh. No, never mind. Times like this, I kind of wish we had those nutrition blocks. I wish there was a way we could fabricate them. I'm glad we were able to get off eating the fish. As much as in real life, how I would probably never do that. Not that I don't like eating greens, but I'm not a big fish person, but I'm also not a big what's the word for it? I'm not a big fish eater, not a big plant eater either, I guess. But I would definitely eat this stuff if I needed to. I'd rather have fish than nothing. Okay, you can tell where we are right away. This is the Lost River. I think I know what we're looking for here as well. Yeah, the first time I played this, I didn't really know what the purpose of these gates were. I figured it was some kind of fast travel, but be careful here because this is the green part of the brine. So I think this part of the Lost River is up where I was basically driving out to the blood kelp area. Yeah, right there. So there is a ghost leviathan here. He keeps getting stuck in the ground. Be careful. Oh, inventory full, hey? I'd like to get a couple, but uh-oh, I don't have my thingy. I'd like to get another one if I could. Yeah, he's not stuck on the ground this time. Let's see if I can get another piece. Okay. May have been shrieking at something else. You know what, let's get out of here. We don't need to deal with that right now. The first time I ever scanned a ghost leviathan was because I couldn't get past that gate. That kind of bubble gate that was in front of us back there. I couldn't get past it. Go. Okay, So central chamber again. Wait, did we read the... I don't think we read the stuff from the previous chamber, did we? Oops. We'll do that.
This room appears to be a biological archive storing more than 40 indigenous egg specimens in different states of development.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to scan all this stuff or not. That'd be kind of cool. Okay.
Integrating new PDA data.
Okay, well, let's get some research data. It's just the one terminal. Yeah, see, well, I recognize some of these eggs, but we've hatched some of these. Something we should do is search out the eggs we have not found yet. Is that it? I'm not really seeing any other points in here. Stairs are right there. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything else, so let's back to the central chamber. Alright. So one area left to go. Ghost weed, right. Oh. Looks like it's done. So I think that was our last warp gate for now, at least. The one in that fourth chamber. Oh, no room? I put the plants in, that's right. Can I? Oh, I can scan this? Oh, ion cube fabricator, okay. I didn't know I could scan it. Oh, how do I get that piece then? Uh-oh. What happens to this little piece here? Shoot. Hopefully that doesn't end up glitching it out. Alright. So we have... Let's go to scan data, which is probably the peeper stuff. What is this? The ion cube fabricator. This device appears to be the origin of the raw mineral that forms the base of the ion cubes, which powers smaller alien systems. Likely drawing power itself from the main thermal plant, this device may represent an almost limitless source of energy. Limitless source of energy. Unlimited power! Sorry. That's the second time I've done that, isn't it? I'm a big Star Wars fan, I can't help it. Okay. See Emperor Leviathan research data. So this is from the room we just went to. Specimen size categories have been adjusted upward to accommodate this species, and you can see at the tail end there, it looks like. 1. Feeding and digestion. Alien research data indicates that despite its size, this species feeds entirely on microorganisms it filters from the water, which themselves depend on a complicated ecosystem of plant and animal life. 2. Reproduction. Large ovary-like organs are carried in the creature's middle section, suggesting that, like other species on this planet, it produces eggs. However, internal scar tissue indicates probable infertility. From the aliens removing it, no doubt. The Emperor manufactures enzyme 42 within its stomach cavity to break down its food, and will occasionally expel it into the surrounding waters. This substance was found to neutralize the effect of the bacterium. And its presence in the ecosystem today would explain how life on this planet survived the outbreak. It would remain to be explained by what mechanism the enzyme is being delivered. 4. Health. Comparative analysis of size and metabolic rates indicates the specimen captured by the researchers was approximately 1600 years old. Extensive internal and external scar tissue suggests it had lived well in excess of the peak lifespan for its species. While a healthy emperor specimen may have held some potential as a cure, it is unlikely any research subjects survived quarantine procedures. Not true, the thing's definitely talking to us. And then this is the vent system that we checked with the peepers in it. Ventilation control, water flowing to and from the primary containment facility, which is what we're in right now, is being automatically controlled, independently of other safeguards. Data on the water composition has been recorded. Inflow, water is being drawn from different biomes around the surface of the planet. The water temperature is considerably lower than the volcanic environment outside the facility, while microorganisms and nutrient counts are substantially higher. Outflow, oxygen-deprived water is being flooded from the system and recycled back to the surface. Okay. So, terminal data finished. Scan data, alien data all finished. Okay, so advanced theories is what we have left. Okay. Enzyme host peepers leaving the containment facility. The outflow pipes are filled with peepers traveling back towards the surface. Specimens show no symptoms of infection. All specimens scanned are carrying enzyme 42, which data suggests inhibits the bacterium. Specimens' stomach cavities are otherwise empty, suggesting they may have purged the contents before entering the pipes. Assessment: if peepers have evolved to distribute the enzyme via the pipe network, this may explain part of the mechanism by which life on 4546b has survived since the bacterial outbreak. And so that's probably then the enzyme's probably being used as a digestive feature. Most bacteria can't really grow well in digestive tracts. They tend to get destroyed by the stomach, but you know, the ones that do, those are the ones causing all the nasty infections. Which is why I kind of go back to the idea that it seemed having a bacterium or any type of bacteria that that would grow on a plant like this, I don't think would spread through, you know, the pulmonary system, the lungs. Like, that doesn't really make sense to me. The fact that it talks about it, you know, causing problems with the lungs. Now, they could spread to the lungs, but more likely it would cause problems with the digestive system over anything else. Peepers entering the containment facility. The pipes drawing water into the containment facility are filled with peepers arriving from the surface. The fish show no signs of distress. The specimens scanned have all consumed high quantities of seeds and organic matter from the surface. Some specimens are beginning to show signs of infection. So even the peepers aren't immune. Okay. Oh. I want that cube. So I'm thinking before we go into the central room, maybe we should head back to the Cyclops one more time. See what we can make and how much more we want to collect here, and then we can go check that central area. Alright. I could at least use the... we'll do it later. And get food while we're at it. Yeah, choosing the park here was a good idea.
Welcome aboard, Captain. All systems online.
Alright. So make some more ion batteries. Oops. Okay, one last power cell for now. Alright. Yep, so we got all the power cells in here. I made a few batteries with what we had. So but we are running out of our other supplies for this. So I guess let's start swapping these out. And regular batteries can go in here. Oh, the fabricator, right? Fabricator needs one. Okay, so I think all the tools I have on me are loaded up with the new batteries. I'd still like to make more, but for now, just call that a win. What do we have on us? So iron cubes, okay? Fill this up, I guess. Okay, I think we're good. I don't have a ton on me. Wait, what? Did I get pushed down a little bit? Oh my god. I got pushed down a ton. What's been whacking us here?
Engine powering up.
Something's been pushing us a little bit.
Engine powering down.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. I didn't realize it would give us, tell us our docking wasn't clear.
Captain.
Good to know. Alright. Little bastards. I can hear them latching on. Okay, let's clear this over here. Alright. So, what do we got here? Blue? So, do we have anything besides the iron? No. Alright. Get in. Okay. We got a giant pool. And something in the back. Let's check the other side first. I'm not sure how easy it's going to be to get the prawn suit out of that pool. I don't know how well the jump jet works outside of water, but I imagine we should be able to get out. I love how we can't see inside of it, though. Yeah. Yeah, no, jump jet don't work outside of water. Okay, maybe that's just the wall, I guess. I don't know. 3, 2, 1. Oh, mama.
Are you here to play? Others came here once. They built these walls. They played alone. They bored me. Now they're gone. And instead, we have you. We are curious whether you swim with the current or fight against it as they did.
That's an interesting way of looking at it. Holy big.
Detecting unusually passive behavior patterns in nearby predators. Reason unknown.
'This place is huge. They said something about sizing to accommodate, right? "14,000 Leagues Under the Sea." I actually literally have the book, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, right here. She's still swimming.
Environment scans indicate the water here is rich with a rare plant-like life form, which depends on the organic detritus produced by the ecosystem around it.
She's so cool. I know she has the same body design as the dragons that I've already complained about, but foregoing that, do I have an ion cube on me? No. Foregoing that, let's do
My young need to hatch, to play outside this place. We have been here so long. The others built a passage to reach the world outside. I asked them for this freedom, but they could not hear me. If you help us, I will give you freely what the others tried in vain to take.
yeah, of course. The arch. Wait, something was on the scanner. One of the fish that went by. I don't think it was her, because I don't think we can scan her. Did I grab an... Nope. Oh, something showed up again. Oh. Aquarium arch, okay. Oh, hey. She's so big. Okay, let me get one. Yeah, she ain't been through this though. She's way too big.
With the passage you have opened, my young can leave this place. But first they must feel the time is right and break free of their shells. This is what the others could not force from me. To you, I give the secret willingly.
Hatching enzymes.
New blueprint acquired.
Okay, we got some reading to do. Plus we have a new recipe. Hatching enzymes. An organic substance derived from plants found in the Emperor's natural breeding grounds, designed to trigger a hatching response. And this is why I was collecting the plants while we were around. I was thinking it might be kind of interesting to drop beacons at those places, just so we can find them from the surface. Okay, so let's do some reading of what we got. Yeah, so I don't know why they couldn't. I wonder why they couldn't hear her. Okay, so we got quite a bit of stuff here. Let's do the data download first, since it's kind of a one-of-a-kind thing. The rest are all in the other area. Aquarium arch. Okay. Didn't we have another one on an arch? Scans indicate this arch was left inactive when the facility was abandoned. It likely served as an access point to the surface of the planet. It is much too small for the Emperor to pass through, but would accommodate smaller life forms. And if you notice, there were more plants on that list than we could find. And one of them is pretty rare, but you can actually find it in this room. So we'll do that in a moment. The Sea Emperor's eggs. 1. Shell. Uncommonly strong shell lining, organic growth on the exterior suggests these eggs may be hundreds or thousands of years old. 2. Alien tubes. Alien devices penetrate the outer shell layer, likely designed to supply them with nutrients and to isolate them from the surrounding environment. 3. Amniotic sac. Like many eggs on 4546b, these do not contain a nutrient supply which is slowly exhausted by the embryo. Instead, they exist in a form of natural stasis, awaiting appropriate hatching conditions. 4. Fetal organism. There is a high genetic match between these organisms and the Leviathan in the vicinity. They appear to be stable and healthy. Does it mean her, or does it mean the ones outside? I'm assuming it means her. It's talking, yeah, because this is the eggs. Okay. It is likely that the ideal hatching conditions for the eggs are considerably from ideal survival conditions for the parent. All right. The Sea Emperor's life cycle. Available biological data has been used to synthesize the effect of the alien bacterium on the Sea Emperor's natural life cycle. This creature likely lived and moved in small herds around the planet's ocean trenches, coming to the surface to feed off the huge volumes of microorganisms in the shallower waters. Family size would be strictly limited by available food supply. Offspring would likely split off at a younger age to form their own herds elsewhere. Given their sparse population, mating and egg laying is likely infrequent, perhaps a once-in-a-lifetime event. The species likely had a preferred environment for laying eggs. In fact, successful hatching may depend on such conditions. Given the rarity of this event, it is impossible to calculate those conditions precisely. There is no evidence to support the assumption that all members of the species were immune from the alien bacterium. Even if this is so, there is evidence that introduction of the bacterium decimated life on the planet, and this would have had catastrophic effects on the Emperor's food supply and survival rate. The symbiotic relationship between this specimen and other life forms likely developed as a direct result of the bacterial infection. Those life forms, which learned to keep the Emperor alive, survived with its help. This may explain the vast tracts of lifeless ocean and a rough perimeter around the Emperor's location. Right, and then I think this is our last one. Hatching enzymes. The Emperor specimen's eggs are attached to some form of incubator. In a normal life cycle, it seems likely that the Sea Emperors would have buried their eggs in shallower waters, where different organic materials in the soil would have triggered a hatching response. The incubator suggests the aliens had resorted to developing artificial hatching enzymes which would simulate the egg's natural hatching environment, but were unable to discover the formula. With extensive information on the Sea Emperors themselves, it may still be possible to fabricate an artificial hatching enzyme using indigenous ingredients. However, the only surviving source of that information may be the Sea Emperor itself, and she just gave it to us. Yeah. Let's pin the recipe for my sake. Right. Which we have everything anyway, except for the one that's on the far left, which you can actually see. My head's not covering. Okay, so eye stalk seed, sea crown seed, fungal sample, ghost weed seed, bulb bush sample. Okay, and like I said, there is one in the environment. There's a spot around here where we can go underneath this area. That might be it. I think there's one down at the bottom though. Was it the sea crown that I was looking at? I can't think of the name now. Or maybe it's not here. There it is. There it is. There it is. And then we got the glowy peepers. I think I see one.
In this area is growing outside its normal conditions. Other life forms fertilizing and pruning the vegetation may be offsetting this environmental deficit.
Yeah. Yep. That's it. We have everything. I was actually thinking of
Aboard, Captain.
growing some of the stuff. It'd be kind of cool. This, at least like the sea crown stuff, because they're rare. We have planting beds for it up at the surface, which we can get to now very easily. Okay. Okay, so we do have a gate. Let's go check it out. I was gonna say it was letting me walk. Alright, here, reapers. Okay. This should look familiar. This is the enforcement platform, the one that shot down the sunbeam. So we are in the mountain zone, mountains area. It must be nighttime. We're close to it. Uh-oh. Warper. Did I hear a cuttlefish? I think I heard a cuttlefish. Okay. We have what we need to get rid of the infection. Alright, let's go back. So, ooh, it's close. Let's try to get back up from here. And let her go by first. Did I ever scan one of those? Apparently not. Yeah, sea crown I think is probably one of the rarest plants on the planet. I don't know where to find them outside of this room myself. But of course it's one that you need to find, so you have to find it no matter what, right? Peepers inside the containment facility. While all other creatures encountered within the facility are isolated within it, peepers appear to be coming and going of their own accord via the alien pipe network. On arrival, peepers are approaching the Sea Emperor. Oh, sorry, that's it. Peepers exhibit a natural affinity for the stomach enzymes being expelled by the Emperor. Peepers which have come into contact with the enzyme are returning to the pipe network. Analysis. This behavior must be the source of enzyme 42 on 4546b, or the area thereof which supports life. It is likely also responsible for the survival of the Emperor and the other life forms contained within the facility. Okay. Very cool. Alright. Well, it's kind of hanging around here. Okay, the platform is up here. Now, the jets obviously don't work when we're above the water line, so... yeah, that worked. Yeah, so that one's just a big wall over there. Alright, I think... I almost fell. We're good. I think that's all we can really do here at the moment. So we have the gates active if we need them again. Like I said, if we want to do beacons, we could do that. I'd say let's farm some more of this. So the entire time we've been down here, we didn't run across one dragon.
Welcome aboard, Captain. All systems online.
What do we have on us? The new one. Okay. Yeah, we can take those. Well, we have everything here. We could just do the enzyme. I did take 2 of everything, so... yep. Hatching enzyme. I didn't even think about that. We had the fabricator here the whole time, so we don't even need to worry about that.
Vital signs stabilizing.
Alright, so we have the enzyme.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
It'd be nice to get the warpers off our back. Plus, I want to get as many ion cubes as we can before we head back. Okay. I don't know if she was gonna settle down to see this. Looks like she is. Aww. That's so cute.
My young are swimming for the shallows. I thank you. Their freedom is my end. What will it be like, I wonder, to go to sleep and never wake up? Perhaps next we meet, I will be an ocean current, carrying seas to a new land. Or a creature so small, it sees the gaps between the grains of sand. Farewell, friend.
So sad. I feel so bad for her. But I mean, I guess that's life, right? It's not the last time we'll see each other, but still. Here to follow the little ones for now. There we go. Concentrated enzyme 42. Optimal health. They're so cute. Okay, while we're here, I guess we could go to the enforcement platform. You know what? No, we'll do it later. I mostly wanted to help her out and kind of, I'm assuming the warpers won't come after us now, but or do we need to do the tower first?
Self-scan complete. Vital signs normal. No remaining sign of bacterial infection.
Okay. I'm going to assume that the warpers won't come at us for that. Let's head back. It hurts to see her like that. Unfortunately, that means that the other wildlife will be healed as well. This might be the last time we see her, 'cause I don't really have any reason to come back down here anymore. It hurts to leave her like that. There's nothing we can do though. Let it recharge. While we're still here, so let's try to load up on some of this. I don't know how much more we're gonna use it or not, but we may as well take what we can. If we could load up a cabinet of it, that'd be great. I think it's like the fourth time I've got that dialogue that's supposedly rare. I wonder if, I think I said this before, but I wonder if they increased the odds of it happening. Okay, so we are pretty much finished with this area. I thought let's read the last entry we had on the, I believe it's the Sea Emperor juveniles. Yep. Sea Emperor juvenile. A juvenile emperor specimen. It is producing a highly potent form of enzyme 42, which should be capable of fully curing individuals of the alien bacterium. This species hatches relatively fully formed and independent, perhaps reflecting the fact that they must fend for themselves when they are first born away from their parents. This specimen is healthy and exhibiting signs of positive attitude to life. At least there are good outcomes that come out of her dying, because I tell you, that was really emotional for me. Okay, I think that's where we are going to close things out for this one. This is mostly story progression. I said my side objective here was to collect resources, but I figured, we still have to make the trip back up. Let's just make that our next objective, because I want to continue working on our Lost River base. But we made our way down into the active lava zone. Didn't take us too long to find it. And we found the containment facility, learned a whole bunch of information about the Sea Emperor, got to meet her, and then help her hatch her young, which was really cool. And thanks to the Sea Emperor, we are now cured of the Kara infection. So pretty awesome. I think I like this part of the story. I think it's really cool. I've already talked about the reason I didn't like the design for the sea dragons, but I give it a pass on the Sea Emperor just because it's a carryover flaw. So I'm okay with it in that sense, you know, because I think both of them are kind of cool designs in their own. It's just the believability of the design that I don't like. And you know, you're gonna get that stuff, you know, with these types of games. So I'll let it pass on her because she is really cool. So we finally got to see her. Remember, we first saw her, you know, she kind of projected herself to us really early on in the story. I mean, that might have been like episode 2, 3 or something like that. It was pretty early on in the story. And now we get to meet her. And yeah. So that was the last of the alien facilities. And kind of the culmination of the bacterial infection. So really the last thing we have to do at this point is to disarm the enforcement platform, build the rocket, and we're done as far as story goes. But we are going to save that for later because I still want to work on our Lost River base. And there are some other things I had in mind that I thought we could do on the surface that, you know, we may tie in to the finale. You know, this is episode like 18 at this point. So I'm thinking at least 2 more episodes I'd like to do. But we'll kind of see if there's anything else that we want to do. And we could always continue down the road if we find fun things to do. So next time I think what we're going to do is make our way from here back up to the Lost River to where our base is. And I want to search for quartz because that's the main thing I'm lacking in as far as that base goes. And we pretty much mined that area, mined it dry. You know, there was a lot of quartz there when we started. But the last time we started mining it, we had to make our way up into the blood kelp zone to find it. So, you know, not gonna work. That's not gonna carry us through, I don't think. But we'll try to figure it out as we go. Because like I said, I want to add on to that base, if for nothing else, just for fun. So we'll see how that turns out. And that's where we'll leave this. So thank you all for joining, and I will see you all later.